According to the world's top doctors, if you don't have relationships like close friends in your life, you are at a higher risk for things like stroke, heart disease, dementia, depression, anxiety, and a whole other host of terrible things. And studies that have come out since have found that loneliness is as dangerous to your health as if you smoked 15 cigarettes a day. So today I want to tell you about loneliness, what it actually is, how it is surprisingly affecting a lot of people in their 20s, and 3 things that you can do to prevent these risks from happening in your life. So this is actually a pretty big deal, and it's something that people are struggling with worldwide. Back in November 2023, the World Health Organization decided that loneliness was going to be a global public health concern. And something that you might not expect is it's actually affecting young people the most. In a study of 142 countries, researchers found that more than 1 in 4 people in their 20s felt loneliness. They experienced those feelings of loneliness that lead to those negative health risks that I talked about. But you might be wondering, what even is loneliness and why is it so dangerous for us? So loneliness is this painful feeling that happens when we don't have social connection and we don't have meaningful relationships with other people. And it especially happens when the relationships that we currently have are different and less than the relationships that we actually want or that we might need in our life. And trust me, we definitely need relationships and friendships and social connection. In fact, it is one of the core foundational needs of human beings, and it's only behind safety and shelter. That is how important it is for us to have social connection and not be lonely. Without it, we literally go crazy, both mentally and in our bodies, because our bodies don't know how to react to the stresses of not being connected with people. And those 2 things combined lead to all those health issues that I mentioned. And something that a lot of people, and maybe even you, might be misunderstanding about loneliness is that you can have friends and you can be around people and still feel lonely. And that's because a core component of it is meaningful connection. So for example, you could be in a party, and if you barely know anyone there, you're still gonna feel isolated, you're still gonna feel lonely. And a flip side, for me, for example, I have a good amount of meaningful connection in my life. So even if I go days without seeing or really talking to any of my friends or family, that hole is already filled in my life because I know they're there and I know I can call on them. In that situation, although I am alone from time to time, doesn't mean I'm lonely. That meaningful connection and knowing that you have that in your life is the real key and what you need to go towards to avoid loneliness. But what if you're feeling that right now? What if right now you are lonely? What do you even do? The first thing I would say is that making friends and then deepening the relationships with those friends is the best, the fastest, and the easiest way to avoid loneliness and to not have it happen in your life. So I want to give you some tips regardless of whatever situation you might be in. So in the first situation, if you have people around you, if you have friends, the first thing I would say is to be open, to be honest, and to be vulnerable with those people. Remember, at the end of the day, we're seeking meaningful connection. And nothing blocks meaningful connection like dishonesty. And you might be wondering, what do I even mean? So it is in conversations like when people ask you, how are you doing? You want to be open and honest with them. You don't want to just default to, oh, I'm good, or oh, I'm fine. Because when you are vulnerable, when you are able to tell them how you really are feeling and then ask them how are they really feeling, it allows for you all to both be vulnerable, for you all to both relate to each other. And you'd be very surprised on how just talking about your feelings, whether they're good or bad or indifferent, helps people understand yourself and helps you just feel better because you get to voice it. And you'll be very surprised as well with how much people relate to you once you are open and honest and vulnerable. And just like that, you're on the path to making more meaningful connections with the people around you. And that takes me to my second point. Now, what if you don't have any friends or any people around you? What do you do now? Well, the first thing I would say is that it's probably easier for you to make those friends than you think. Like I mentioned, Loneliness, especially in your 20s, is a massive problem. Tons and tons of people are feeling it. Nearly 1 in 4 people, or more than 1 in 4 people, according to that study. Which means there's a very high chance for you to find somebody who wants that meaningful connection, who wants to make friends, who wants to be your friend. If you can reach out and connect to those people, if you can put yourself in the right places to meet those people. And once you put yourself in those situations and you take that initiative, my third point is that making friends is actually pretty simple. It's a skill. And like any other, you just need to take the right actions and learn the right things to continually get better at it. In fact, that is why I started this YouTube channel, because I have taken those steps and learned those lessons on how to make friends and how to get closer and deeper with people. And now I want to share it with you and share it with everyone so that you can have those really deep and meaningful connections that make life just worth it. I actually made a video very recently talking all about my process and the steps I would take if I had to start over from scratch making new friends. So if you want to kickstart your friend making journey, I would highly recommend that you click this video and check it out. Take care, I believe in you, and I know you'll be making friends in no time. See you there.